for your food, hunting for your honey. Copper mash, still how we make money. We hang all we got on our family name. Fill our jug with fresh spring water. 6-string strumming back up in a hall. Just picking and a grinning to the rhythm of a tin roof band. Found. We get down on a mountain high. We play country music like our daddy did. Pray to the Lord, so will our kids. Round here, take care of our own. Bunch of our buddies dig down in the mines. When they come back up, it's a damn good time. We get together and fire up a
There you guys are. Chris, Donnie in the flesh. Look at you guys. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. How are you?
So Chris, Donnie, what is that beautiful compound you guys are coming to us from? It has all the vibes.
This is a little room, an old room off of my house that I have converted into a little studio. So.
I feel like that room has seen a thing or two. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. We make a lot of music in here.
Right. And some other stuff. But guys, so good to see you.
Over a little bit.
So great to see you guys. West Virginia rockers, family troubadours, the Davisson Brothers. Chris joining us, Donnie joining us, man. Celebrating the brand new album, Home is Where the Heart Is. And you guys were saying this was like your most personal and like the story of yourself. But guys, this album, Home is Where the Heart Is, the folks you worked with, I mean, it was produced by Brent, Cobb, and Dave Ferguson, Fergie, and you play with folks and pals that we love, that we know, like, you know, Kyle Tuttle and Vince Herman and Lindsay Lou. Forget the talent for a second, guys, because we know these cats are the most talented. How freaking fun was it to do this project? Because I know these people are fun, and you guys seem like a good time. How fun was it?
That was the best part of the whole record, was just the fun we were having. We were making all that music and we didn't even, it was just like setting up and jamming. It was like we were all just jamming, but like Vince and Kyle and those guys, they're crazy. Like you said, those guys are ready to rock at 9 a.m., smiling, dancing, laugh. I mean, we had a blast making that record. It wasn't even like making a record because of the fun that was involved. That's what I tell everybody. I was like, man, it was like one of those, we were in there for a few weeks on and off, but it was like when it was over, we were like, man, is this thing really over? I don't want to stop. We wanted to keep adding songs to it.
So let me get this straight. You guys went to South Carolina, right? You recorded it there with the gang. So what was like a normal day like? Like what time would you wake up? How what was the process like here?
We actually wrote it, some of it in South Carolina.
That's right.
And Vince had never been involved in a co-write. Vince had pulled a motorhome in here in West Virginia because Leftover Salmon and Vince Herman have never been off tour ever. So he pulled in here to West Virginia. I got a little camp on a trout stream up in our mountains where we go and get away from everything. And he said, man, can I pull my motorhome up there and just hang out? I'm like, sure, Vince. And so he got up there and he was parked for like 3 days, and I went up and visited him. I said, man, let's get out here and go to Nashville and get in a writing room. And he just played along with it. And then he got in the corner. He's like, I've never done a co-write before. So
that's wild. That's so wild.
I said, hey, let's try this. Cause years ago, I was at Dell Fest, and Trey from the band Fish had come up to me. He'd caught our set at Dell Fest, and he said, man, I always wanted to go to Nashville and kind of see what those writing rooms were about. So I tried to do this with Trey, and you know how schedules get up. So for years, it's been on my mind. Let's take our jam band friends and put them with these just amazing writers that live in Nashville, and they just write every day, all day. You know, they're just lyricist guys, and they got magic with their words. And So it couldn't have worked any better. And Vince is like, let's bring Kyle. And I was like, heck yeah. So here I had like Wyatt Garrett, Channing Wilson, and the Rob Snyder, Adam Hood, and he's just amazing writers. But Wyatt don't play an instrument at all. He just writes all with his vocal abilities and melodies. And so we got to South Carolina, that lodge, and we didn't know what was going to happen. So we had them all in this big 20-room like lodge and 1,200 acres. And so the first night, everybody was just standoff, kind of getting to know each other. And I was like, Vince, Kyle, get them instruments out. And Kyle and Vince got the mandolin, the banjo, and the guitars out and started playing old fiddle songs. And all of a sudden, I watched these writers start sparking ideas, and it was just magic. For 4 days, we never really even slept. We wrote songs and played music.
It's the fun and the energy, like you were talking about. It's like when Vince is in a room with you, you could be having the worst day, but he is just so jolly and happy. Just 100%. He puts off some, like, no matter what you're doing, and there is some kind of awesome vibe that could, like, he just makes you feel good. Like, I mean, you've seen it on the stage and everything, but it's just his everyday personality's like that. It just makes you happy to want to write a song and have fun and write. Everything he writes is just so good and so inspiring, and I like just being around those guys.
Absolutely, guys. And yeah, what a record. And you guys can tell that you guys carved something so special in every one of these songs, guys. But I have to ask you, you know, guys, because you guys, when you finished this project, you had like 100 songs. Is that right?
Yeah, we actually we turned in 55, I think, to Brent, Cobb, and David Ferguson. And they, you know, as producers, we kind of stay in our lane and let them. They was looking at the project in a whole. And Brent called one day and he's like, man, they said, I don't know if you realize, but these 50-some songs you just sent us, about 90% of it is you're singing about West Virginia and Appalachia and being home, wanting to get home, or, you know. And he said, could I name this record for you? And I was like, well, yeah, what do you got, Brent? He said, home is where the heart is. And that was it. We know it. So
amazing. But there's a bunch to unpack there, Chris and Donnie. First of all, you say that you sent 55 songs like it's nothing. You sent 55 songs to, like, I just, you know, I'm not a musician, but here in Nashville, a lot of my friends are. I know that I know some songwriters that take 2 years to finish a song.
Yeah.
You know, like, how does that feel like? And do you have favorites? Like, how do they cut them down to 10 and stuff, you know?
We do. They're all like, you know, it's like when you're done with writing these songs, it's like bringing a life, you know, it's like giving birth to something in a way, you know. So they're all personal to us, and it's all, you know, it's all real stuff we write, you know. About everything we write is real to us, and we live it, you know. So they all got a little personal connection to us, and we take them all very serious.
It's hard to pick because I like everything. I'm that guy that's like, oh man, I hope we get to cut this one, I hope we get to record this one. But everything we write, I love it so much. We spend a lot of time writing that. We pretty much write all the time. Like if we're on the road, if we're home, if we're in the we write, and all of our friends are songwriters. So really, the writing never stops. It's hard to shut it off, and we're just surrounded by good songwriters like that. So I think my toughest thing is picking which songs. Like each night when we're out on the road at the shows, it's hard to pick just enough songs to go in the set like that each night. Absolutely. Too. And when you got new ones like that, you write one, you're like, man, you want to play all that new stuff to see what everybody thinks about it. And like see how that we kind of give them a test run. We'll write a handful of songs tomorrow, and then this weekend we'll go out and give them a little test run, and you'll know it. The crowd will let you know which ones they like. But it's all different to me. I like everything.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable, guys. I mean, really, really great stuff. And we were talking about West Virginia here, and, you know, the title of the album. And I said, man, I'm going to ask Chris and Donnie, like, what is it about West Virginia? Because, you know, like, so much good stuff. Like our good friend, Sierra Farrell, West Virginian, you know, Kathy Matea, West Virginia, Hawkshaw Hawkins, West Virginian. I mean, you go down the list of you guys, West Virginians. The people that have come out of Mountaineer State, like, what is it about that state, man? Because that music makes you feel stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm glad you got that.
It's crazy you said that because Sierra Farrell was on that first writing session when we got Vince to Nashville, and it was her first co-write in that kind of environment too. So I had her and Vince first time in the same room doing one of these co-writes with friends, and we wrote 7 songs with Sierra and Vince the first day, and Levi Lowry and Rob McCoury from the Del McCoury Band. So it was just, but I don't know. I think it's something about the seclusion up here in these mountains, and everybody just depends on each other, and they take care of their neighbors, and they take care of each other, and just a lot of hard times. There's a lot of people up here that just live off a little bit of nothing, but they're some of the happiest people in the world. And I think this music, is embedded here, and it's just something everybody's done, because there's no real, you don't go to a city up here. There's very few little venues and stuff. So people just get together and make music. And I think that's, been passed down over the years, and it still exists here. And a lot of the music is, that's a big part of the lifestyle up here. Just everywhere we go, somebody's got an instrument, or somebody's singing a song, or, from little kids clear up to 90-year-old people. There's old fiddlers around, and just it's an amazing little lifestyle we've got up here in these mountains.
It sure is. It sure is, Chris. And by the way, I mean, for my audience that doesn't know, obviously you guys are brothers, like blood brothers. And it got me thinking, guys. I mean, you guys probably answer this stuff all the time. So, but for my audience that may not know, I'm always thinking, like, there's these great brothers in music history, like, like the Black Crowes or the Gallagher brothers of Oasis, that they've always had these amazing songs, but they can't stand each other, and they break. You almost want to shake them and be like, guys, what are you guys doing? But you guys genuinely have a good time with each other. You love each other. It's clear right now, and you always have. So I guess, like, what's the secret sauce there? Or is it just like, yeah.
We've done it so long together since we were just little guys. And I don't know, that it's pretty much both. It's what we've both always done since we were younger. So I think we just enjoy, we kind of come up together through all the music and everything, and through life as little guys till now with it. So we've always just learned to get along. And
we've got actually right now in our band, we've got 2 of our nephews, our sister's boys, in the band with us, and they've been on stage with us since they was 3 years old. And on the side stage, just listening to this music, and now they're playing it with us, which is amazing. So we've kind of grown up on stage. Our dad still does 200 shows a year at 70 years old, so it's in our blood, and it's just something we've always done. And we do have our arguments and fights.
It's just always been a close family thing. Music was a big part. It's still a big part of our entire family. So I just kind of let him be the boss, and I let him take over the show, and everything goes smooth.
I think being family, you can have little scuffles, and you get over it and move on.
At the end of the day, he's still my brother.
Exactly. Well, guys, you guys are amazing, and you guys are being so good with your time. Thank you. Just let me ask you a couple more questions, guys. I mean,
sure.
You guys are road warriors. You never cancel shows. Like, you are always there. But in December, you did cancel a couple of shows. I think in Morgantown and Cumberland. What happened there? Because that was, it was like, you guys never cancel. What happened?
We've never. I think we've only had to cancel a couple shows in our life. Donnie, my brother, he had a little surgery. It needed to happen. It come about. It was minor, and but it needed to happen. And that's I think we've only canceled 3 shows in our entire career of about 8,000 shows. So
amazing. And everyone is healthy now. Everything's all right.
Yeah, everybody's we're all good.
Love it. All right, guys. Let me leave you with this. You're going back to the Opry. You're playing some awesome stages this year. I think we're going to see you guys at a few festivals down the road. But how is it to play the Opry? What stages, like, do you still, like you said, you play 8,000 shows. What stages still give you the goosebumps that you're like, you guys look at each other and you're like, shit.
Well, the Grand Ole Opry is the big one. That I don't know. It's just an amazing feeling to walk out in that circle. I don't know if it's just because as kids, we've been to the Opry a lot when we were younger and everything, and just got to see all of our heroes standing there. So I think the first time they invited us, the whole time backstage, I was just like, I was sitting back here thinking, man, we got to see so many of the legends and the people that we grew, like we used to learn everybody's songs that played on the Opry, and we got to listen to the Opry on the radio back home at the house on the farm and everything. We were kids. The Opry was a big deal to us. So when you step in that circle for sound check, I was like, I couldn't tell if I was ready to cry or sing. I had a lump in my throat. I had just goosebumps, and we walked out on stage, and there was just a sold out crowd with all of it. I think half of West Virginia was there that night because they were just as proud as we were to get on that stage. But I don't know, there's something magical. There's some kind of spiritual thing in that entire building and that surrounding. There's like, you can just feel that. I don't know. I can't even explain it, but it was the greatest stage I've ever performed on.
I think right, also, we do Dell Fest on a regular basis, and we kind of was in the beginning stages of it. But anytime we're around Mr. Del McCoury, which we just idolize and look up to, and he's kind of our hero. It sets a different tone. You know, it's kind of, you know, like him being around, and any of those older bluegrass guys that, you know, cut these roads for us and kind of started this thing we do, these touring musicians, that lifestyle. And you know, it's a whole different thing when those guys are around. We was just playing a show in a pre-event in Maryland for Dell Fest, and we didn't know Dell was in the audience, and all of a sudden we looked over and Dell comes up on stage and hits that high harmony behind us, and it was, you know, it changes everything when those guys are around.
Yeah, that's another one of those moments when Dale sings with you like that. That don't happen too often, but when it does, you're like, wow, man, that makes you happy.
Isn't that amazing? I met Dale last year, and same thing. And his wife was side stage, always, always like she was like in her 20s, just looking at every note. It's so inspiring.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful family right there.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, the Davisson Brothers, guys, I mean, incredible album, Homies Where the Heart Is, out April 28th. Most importantly, incredible dudes, guys. Absolutely. We can't wait to meet you and see you guys perform live.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And we'll see you soon.
Take care, guys.
Take care.